Hi my friends, it's the 18th of September 2021 and I just thought I'd give you a taste test of one of my Thai papayas, one of my Dwarf Thais. And this is the strain that I bought about 7 or 8 years ago, and I bought it directly from Thailand, but it just had too much variation in it. Now, they said it would be a fruit that's sort of similar to the fruit you can see there, but I just got all shapes and sizes and tastes and flavours. But anyway, I've had this bagged up for 11 days, so it's quite a guess here. I've kept it bagged to keep the animals off it, but I'm hoping it hasn't got too ripe. It's going to be very close, but I'm hoping it's going to be perfect. So let's see, I'll just turn this camera off, take the bag off, and let's have a look at it. Well, there it is folks, it just came off my hand. I was hoping to just slide the bag off so you can see it hanging, but it just snapped off. It's pretty much perfectly ripe and ready to eat tonight. See, it's got a lot of bites there, that's the fruit spotting bug. And there's a little bit of mould there. I'll have to cut that bit off. I suspect I've given it a little bit too much water. Still trying to work out exactly what these plants need. But look at the shape of it, hey? It's quite banana shaped. So again, that's where it was up there. These other fruits are straight. But yeah, I found that in the parent plant, because this is a strain I've been trying to selectively breed it. You know, I got all these different shapes and sizes of papayas they were Thai suppliers actually. They were seed suppliers in Thailand. They promised big long fruits, straight though, not with a curve, but a bit like this, only bigger and deep red. That's what they promised, but then I got all shapes and sizes. I got round fruits, and some plants were very heavy bearers, which is what I was looking for, and others weren't so good at all. But yeah, I end up with my selective breeding. I spent quite a few years actually. Time adds up. It's amazing how time adds up. But yeah, it was 7 or 8 years ago I bought these seeds. So a number of times I've grown a heap of plants and cut most of them out in the interest of selectively breeding. But even my best seeds out of my best fruit, like they say to get the seeds from the middle of the fruit, and I'd take my best seeds, and I was still just getting all sorts of throwbacks and shapes and sizes. But this was my second most favourite strain. I've kind of got these plants for okay. Well, to a degree. I've got a few of this plant growing at the moment, and I found this was my best tasting papaya, but it wasn't as heavy of a yielder. But that's not too bad at the moment. There's a few fruit there, but look how little leaf there is on top there. That's from the winter. Actually, it's lost even more leaves since I gave it the spring update on the 7th. Because we're still getting some horrible weather, just awful cold weather. So yeah, these trees are still dropping leaves and struggling, but it won't be long now. It's like overall the weather is getting better, but in the last, well, since the 7th we've had at least a week of bitter winter weather. So yeah, this tree's looking a bit sad. It's got a lot of fruit there considering it has so few leaves. But it should come back soon. But yeah, this strain, I found it's my best tasting. That's what I was selectively breeding with this one. And every now and again it gets a curve like that. Shaped like a banana. See, and it's a good size. It's quite a good size, isn't it? Quite a good size papaya. And it should taste pretty good too. I'll give you a taste test tonight of this one, and I think I've got, what have I got? I've got 6 or more trees from this strain, my attempt at selectively breeding. But yeah, after 7 years, it just wasn't working. There's just too many mongrels crossed into this strain. So yeah, I picked out 2 strains. Well, I've got one that I think's that tended to be a heavy bearer, the most heavy bearer. And this one was almost as good, but I found it was a better tasting fruit. So I've got these 2 different strains growing in the yard, and again then throw in variation, throw in lots of variation. But this one actually, this one came out alright. This is about the 3rd tree down the line, and it's pretty much like the original plant. Just this one. There's some others there. I showed you some others I picked in spring, actually, and they were the same strain. And they look quite a bit different. So even this, you know, if I pick the seeds out of this, get the best seeds out of the middle of the fruit, plant those seeds, I'll still get, you know, potentially 10 different varieties of papaya. So that's why I've gone for Sandnaz Farms and their 98% guarantee of these new red dragon papaya I'll be planting soon. But yeah, anyway, I've learnt a lot. But I've been pissing in the wind a lot really too, you know. I've learnt, main lesson I've learnt is buy your seeds off a reputable seed supplier. And something I forgot to mention in the Sandnaz Farms video, even though I covered nearly everything over an hour and a half, or longer, actually nearly 2 hours. But Sandnes Farms sells a few varieties like the Maridol and the Red Lady, and I was saying you can get them just about anywhere in the world. It's a very popular red variety, red papaya variety. But again, I think you're better sticking with Sandnes Farms, because you might notice I also mentioned that, like seeds, for instance, in the USA and Hawaii, there's people saying there's no true pure strains left over there anymore, because the fools are introduced genetically modified papaya, and apparently some argue it's not true, but it's pretty true, I think. The GMO papaya has crossed in with all their papayas. They don't have any pure strains anymore. So you could get a Maridol, you know, from other parts of the world, potentially a few places, especially the USA, a Maridol or a Red Lady, and it could be crossed with genetic papaya. You could still get mongrels crossed in with your strain, so you're better off sticking with Sandnes, because they guarantee their stuff is GMO free. We've got no GMO papayas in Australia, and I'm nearly sure there's no GMO papayas in Thailand too. They tend to be a fairly smart country, and they go against big corporate interests if they feel it's for the benefit of the people of their country. They're more inclined to put the people of their country first, whereas the Western countries are just sellouts to the big corporations. So yeah, you know, even if you're after a common variety or more common variety like Maridol or Red Lady, you still should stick with the Sandnes Farms over here in Australia to get your seeds. Anyway, I'll cut that off now, and in a few hours this evening I'll give you a taste test. And this should be pretty good. Yeah, I find this fruit, it's a very firm fruit. It's not very soft, it's quite firm, but nice. It tends to be fairly red, very sweet and yummy. And this one's interesting, eh? It's so banana shaped. Okay, well I'll see you tonight in a few more hours when I cut it open. I'll have it for dinner. Bye for now. Okay, my friends, well, a couple of days have passed. I really should have sliced this open sooner, but I've just been just so crazy busy. There's been just so much going on. And I've been hungry to eat this thing, but I want to put it on film for you, so that turns it into more of a production, more of an effort. But unfortunately, look at this. This is so sad. Well, these black bites, that's the fruit spotting bug you saw when I picked it. But now there's all these new bites. And that's this black bug in this house. I wish I knew the name of the damn thing. But it will just destroy fruit in a matter of days, which is really sad. But so far it's no real problem. I can slice that off. But if I gave this another 2 or 3 days, this fruit would just be demolished by this black bug you get here. It's about 3 times bigger than a fruit fly, and it's really difficult to control. And it just attacks all my fruit in the house. Luckily it's not much of a problem outside, it's just in the house. And perethrin is useless on it. It swims in perethrin. It does backstroke. It has like a good time in perethrin. So again, maybe I've got to start spraying permethrin in the house to get on top of these little shitty things. But anyway, there's our fruit. I guess it's ripened up a little more over a few days. I was just reading, well, remember I was reading on that, on Sandnes Farms the seed supplying website, they say letting these fruit just sit for 3 days and all the sugar ends up on the bottom of the fruit. Like if I let that sit there, the sweetest part becomes the bottom of the fruit. Isn't that amazing? So that's a big reason why you should be just tree ripening your fruit, picking and eating. But yeah, I am kind of happy with this fruit. This is a fruit I've selectively bred, and I bred it for taste. It was from that Thai strain I was telling you about that I bought from Thailand. I bought about 30 seeds, and almost every seed was different. And one tree was an extremely heavy bearer, and another tree had an extremely good taste. Well, even the heavy bearing tree was quite good, but this tree was, yeah, better tasting and didn't bear as well. So I just tried to selectively breed those two strains. And the tasty one, every now and again, it gives me a fruit like this. It's just shaped like a big banana. It's got a kink in it. Usually they're flat. But that's one of the things about selective breeding, is I could potentially breed a papaya like this with a kink in it. And maybe it'd have novelty value, I don't know. Maybe not either, but that's what you can do with selective breeding. Like if I just kept breeding plants with this and just took the seed out of the fruit that had the bend in it like this, and grew a whole heap of plants, then got the seed out of the fruit with the bend in it again, planted it again, then get the seed out of the fruit with the bend in it again, and just keep doing that again and again, and eventually you just get lots and lots of bendy fruits like this. Yeah, well that's how you can, yeah, if I wanted to bring this trait out. But I guess, you know, it'd only have novelty value. But it is quite a tasty fruit, so yeah, we'll chop all this rubbish off. These black spots from the fruit spotting bug, that's no real problem. And these new bites, that's more of a problem actually. That'll go into the flesh a bit. But we should be able to chop all that off. That should come off. Oh, look at that, it's gone down a bit. That's a pity. That is a pity. It's gone down a bit into the flesh. Yeah, see, and it's not that red, is it? It's not that red. It's kind of an orange fruit. But I find this is a very tasty fruit. It is very yummy. It is a very nice fruit. So yeah, that's a pity. We've lost a bit, haven't we? I would have eaten this earlier if it wasn't for you guys. It's just the effort that's needed to show all this to you. I'm still not all that good at it yet, I guess. To set up and prepare myself and try and think what I'm going to say. But anyway, there we go. That's sort of cleaned up most of the rubbish on it. And we'll slice it open. Yeah, this will be nice. This will be very good. And it's extra nice because it's mine. So I've grown it myself, and yeah, I've been breeding this. I've been breeding this strain. So it's just kind of a nice feeling, you know, when it's your own fruit and it's something you've been working on for a number of years. It's quite a firm, heavy fruit actually, and it's not all that soft of a fruit either. Actually, it's quite firm and hard and heavy, surprisingly heavy for its size compared to other papayas. And sweet, yeah, nice and sweet. But I won't be collecting seeds from these anymore because as you know, I've got my new strain now. I'll be planting my new strain, and hopefully that's going to be a lot better. That red dragon, I bought 30 red dragon seeds, so they'll all be going in the ground the next few days, all going well. Bit of a funny lump just there, I don't know what that's all about. I'll skip that. I'll skip all that actually. Yeah, very refreshing that, very refreshing taste. Very sweet and juicy. Yeah, nice to eat one of these again, although I've already eaten one this season. Well, I picked the first one, it was sort of a similar size, but it was straight. It didn't have the bend in it. And I don't know, I thought it was redder than this. That's not as red as I thought they usually are. So yeah, I had the first one in winter, this is the second one, and there's still 4 or 5 to go. Yeah, quite good, quite a good fruit. Yep, nice to have this tree. Nice to have this tree growing. Very delicious actually. Yeah, and it's nice and moist too actually, even though we haven't had much rain. I've been watering it, but I was worried that I was very close to overwatering again. I've made that mistake a few times lately, but I think I might have just about got it just right this time. I'm giving it the right amount of water, and I kept the bag on it. I timed the bag pretty well. I let it get a little bit of colour, or just a tiny bit. I don't want to risk it for too long. If it gets too much colour, those bats just get it off me, the fruit bats. So I let it get a tiny bit of colour and put it in the bag, and it stayed in the bag for 11 days, I think. Because it wouldn't have been, they won't be in the bag as long as it warms up. But at the moment we had a week of freezing horrible weather. So it's just guesswork really. So I was just guessing it can stay in the bag for longer because it was so cold. And the papayas are still going backwards actually since the spring update on the 7th. Today's the 21st. Oh yeah, we've had at least a week of more horrible winter weather. But it's just about over now. It's getting safe to say it's pretty much finished now. The days are warming up again now. Well, even today we had some westerlies. We had some strong nor'westerlies. And I think we're going to get some more tomorrow too. And our westerlies, our southerlies and our westerlies are our coldest winds. They tend to be our winter winds. But still, it's nearly over. Spring is always slow to come on around here, or usually. We had a couple more weeks at the latest and it should be getting quite nice. Well, it's getting quite nice already. It's so much better than winter. I guess you could say, so yeah, we've had 3 weeks of spring weather now. It's spring for 3 weeks, and we've had 1 really horrible week and 2 that aren't too bad. So yeah. Yeah, well that's good. That's quite a treat to eat that. Quite nice. Wish I opened it a little bit earlier actually, just to show you before those little black critters started nipping into it. I wish I knew the name of that bug. Someone told me once and I just can't remember again. But it's about 3 times bigger than a fruit fly. We don't really get fruit fly around here, but we get this black little small fly. And it just breeds out of control and it just loves nipping into fruit. Especially things like papaya. And it's usually never a problem in the garden, it's a problem in the house. When I'm storing fruit in the house, they attack all my fruit. And if they really go for a fruit like they started on this one, they can really make a mess in just a few days. Quite bright and refreshing, I could say about this one. You can almost like taste the sunshine. You can taste the sunshine in it. Juicy sunshine. I'm eating more homegrown papayas every day now. which has been great. And my health is improving already. I'm noticing a difference already with my health. Just having more organic papayas. I'm noticing these are better than the store-bought. The store-bought ones probably have traces of Roundup and stuff like that in them. And the way my health is, I do notice these things a lot more than I had before. So I really notice I need food as clean as possible, and I can really tell the difference. Can really feel it working, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I think that Roundup residue, which is in virtually everything. Apparently it's even in tampons. It's even in women's tampons. It's in vaccines. Hey, the residue, glyphosate in particular. It's in everything. It's in the body of virtually every human on Earth. And the more we can reduce that load, the better our health will be, without a doubt. And I'm really noticing it with my health. Having poor health, and I just notice every little thing that improves my health. Like I was down the beach today, there's just beautiful fresh air today at the water. I'm taking the full moon video. Oh geez, that air was good. It was strong wind, but oh gee, it was so good. Just really did miracles for my lungs, absolute miracles. Yeah, well, that's a good fruit, folks. That's very nice. That's quite a treat to get a fruit off that tree. Very nice. And more to come. Quite a few more red papayas to come. At the moment I'm still mostly picking yellows. I've been getting yellows every day from the daughters of my Hawaiian Gold. And actually even that tree that I said had that tinge of bitter, and I did that fail video. Wow, look at that, huh? How's that for a nice looking fruit? Oh, I'm proud of that. Oh, pin up, I should take a poster and hang it up on the wall. A bit disappointing, to be honest. I'm a little bit disappointed. Aww. The flavour is why I prefer red papayas. It's just not sweet enough, you know?
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
The flavor. Thumbs down. It gets a thumbs down. The daughter that yeah, just didn't make the grade. Well, some of the fruit I've had since then have been better, actually. It's been quite good. Well, not too bad at all, not too bad. Certainly better. And that's interesting, because that bitter one, I picked that late, when was it, late April? I think, not quite winter. And then now I'm picking fruits that have only just grown through winter. And I haven't had much warm weather at all. And they're not too bad at all, hey. Not fantastic, but not bad. Certainly edible. Certainly quite edible. And saves me a few dollars. My budget's going further now at the moment. I've got a little extra money to buy more things for the garden, which will increase my garden yields even more. Because yeah, I'm gearing up for this big veggie garden soon. That'll be starting soon. And I'll need a fair few straw bales for it. And I want a few little bits and pieces, a bit of irrigation pipe and stuff like that. Also, I want to buy some potting mix for my red dragons, to plant my red dragons in a couple of days. And just having all this extra free food helps me to budget it in. Makes it all more affordable. I can afford it. Because I'm not spending much on food at the moment. I'm living well within my means. Almost everything I eat comes out of the garden at the moment, and that's the way I want it. That's the best way to do it. I bought some takeaway pizzas tonight actually, which was quite a treat. But again, I could afford it because I'm hardly spending a cent on food at the moment. I'm just eating papayas and vegetables. And a few eggs. A few eggs and papayas and vegetables. And it's doing me a lot of good. Homegrown papayas and homegrown vegetables. And still a few bought papayas. I'm still buying a few papayas actually. Because I'm eating a lot of them. Because again, I find that a very healing fruit. That they just seem to agree with me a lot better than a lot of other foods. There's some foods, as soon as I eat them, my lungs go worse. I struggle to breathe even more as soon as I eat certain foods. But these papayas hardly set me back at all. Especially my homegrown. Actually, even the bought papayas, I can eat them and notice a bit more difficulty in breathing. Yeah, isn't that strange? I assume, there's something in it, impurities in them. But my homegrown organic, it's I just thrive on this stuff. It's just, this is real food. No garbage in it. No chemicals. Okay, well that was very good. I hope that inspires you to grow your own. It's the only way to go, eh? Especially in this day and age. Grow your own and build your own natural immunity. Because there's nothing like your own natural immunity. You can't trust chemicals to give you immunity. That's just absolute fallacy. And it really does come down to food. If you're eating bad foods, you're going to get sick. If you're eating garbage, but yeah, things like my homegrown papaya and my homegrown veggies, it's amazing what it does for my health. And get out of this smog, get down the beach, get that fresh air. Maybe I'll heal yet. Maybe I'll get better yet and prove all the doctors wrong. Okay folks, thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.